Hello, everyone, from Rise Podcast in Phuket, Thailand. We're here with a special friend, young boxer. What is your name
My name is James Power.
and where do you come from?
I'm from Ireland.
And what are you doing in this place called Thailand?
I'm one of the head boxing coaches here, but originally I came here sponsored by Tiger Muay Thai.
Nice. And how is it to be a boxing fighter in Thailand?
It's against the norm. Like I suppose most people that come here are Muay Thai or mixed martial arts, and having like someone just pure boxing here is, I suppose, it's different.
Are you able to get fights in Thailand?
I haven't fought here. Originally, when I came here, it was because I was going through a bit of a managerial kind of contract situation. So I came here, did a camp at Tiger, and then I suppose with the ability to not go back and like continue a career, I decided to move to Thailand more permanently, and then fell into more of a coaching role here and helping fighters prepare for camps. And then I suppose it slowly transitioned into being one of the lead boxing coaches there.
Nice. And where do you coach now?
I'm currently coaching at Ali's Boxing Club. I was originally the head coach of Apollo, and before that, I coached in Rawai. And I suppose I've been just helping fighters in different camps across different gyms. So it's more of a situation of I can go anywhere, and I'm not fully situated in one gym.
Okay. And you have fought a lot in your young years of life, right? You
Yeah.
started quite young.
I started boxing when I was 9 years old in Cork, Ireland. I went through the amateur ranks in Ireland, and I suppose anyone that's into boxing understands that like the amateur system in Ireland and the UK is probably one of the best in the world. So I went through the amateur, I suppose, system there. Have the amateur pedigree. Had about 100 fights, give or take. And then I won 2 national titles. I was in 5 national finals. I won all my counties and provinces. And then I turned professional in Mexico at the age of 70.
So you've been living in Mexico as well?
I went to Mexico. I remember it came up during a conversation like this, like, why haven't you turned professional yet? And I suppose the age limit in Ireland is you have to be 18. And that's most countries except for, I think, Mexico, Thailand, I think Puerto Rico, and a few states in America you can turn when you're under 18. But I remember having this conversation. I was like, I'm waiting until my 18th birthday to turn professional. That's always been the dream since day one. That's always been the focus. It hasn't been interested in like an amateur kind of, I suppose, status. It was use this as a stepping stone and then turn professional. And I remember it was just a normal conversation, and the person said, but Canelo has done this at 15, so why can't you? I'm like, Canelo was in Mexico, and he was like, just go to Mexico.
Well,
I
that's a good
went
one.
on to Facebook. I'm like, Mexican promoters, like La Box Mexico, like Tijuana, and a few like I suppose messages out here and there to people, and quickly became something that could be a possibility. So with the help of like advisors and I suppose a manager that wasn't like a contract but wanted to help out, like oversee this kind of, I suppose, thing that has never been done before, right? Like, and we got it set up. I remember flying to LA, flew to LA with a coach that I literally never met before, but his professional coach, the manager liked him. He's like, this person's going to take care of you. So I met the man, jumped on a plane, flew to LAX. And I remember I knew no one in LA. So I'm texting one of my mates, who I knew through Instagram and a few previous trips to Los Angeles for training. And I was like, hey, I'm at LAX, come pick us up. He picked us up like about 3 a.m. We drove to Tijuana and we crossed the border. We met the manager, we weighed in. And then he's like, okay, I'll put you in this hotel. We're on the hotel in the main street of Tijuana. And I'm just like sitting there and I'm like, fuck, like I'm in Mexico, and like tomorrow night I'm gonna fight. And like I remember all night just listening to like music and nightclubs and just bars and commotion outside. Like Tijuana doesn't sleep. So I'm just awake all night listening to all of this. And then next morning I wake up, go down, check out the ring, fought in a Mexican, I suppose, setting, which is completely different to anything I'm used to. Won my professional fight by a second round stoppage. And then the next day I went back to LAX and then flew home. So I was only there for like 3 or 4 days, flew home, and then I went back there, I think 2 or 3 times afterwards, back and forth.
Nice. And what do you think was your proudest moment as an amateur fighter? Transitioning maybe to
yeah,
pro?
like that's an interesting kind of step, you know. But it was also like I'm only 17, and I'm putting so much trust in like the Mexican promoter, the Mexican like I suppose like people trying to take care of us. I put so much trust in like the coach that I've never met before. I put so much trust in like the advisors who are telling me that like, hey, we'll take care of this. And like turning professional is not something that I suppose in any sport that's like you can play with, you know. Like if you turn pro and you take a loss, especially in boxing, it's like very difficult to come back from, especially if it's your first fight, you know. Like, so you're putting a lot on the line there. And also when I transition to professional, I can't go back amateur. So now I'm in the pro ranks and there's no going back. So it was like a big decision, like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? I was still in school. So like, am I going to manage like a professional like career and like starting a professional journey whilst I'm still in school and finishing my I suppose academic journey? And when I played everything up, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. You know, anyone can have a dream, not everyone can have a memory. So like, let's go for it, see what happens, and do our best. And that's exactly what I did.
And what was the hardest experience as a fighter?
I think my training camp in Los Angeles would have been the most, I suppose, the most difficult or the most amount of adversity, just living and breathing like life as a professional athlete. And that is like, I suppose out here it's a bit easier because we live in paradise. Like your time is spent in the gym or like walking around with your mates or going to the beach, and like it's a bit different than like being locked in to a training camp and like you're going to your apartment that doesn't have anything, to the gym which is just the bare essentials, and then just killers everywhere you look, to back to your apartment to wait for the next training session, then go back and sleep. Like there's no meals out, there's no like, you have camaraderie in the sense of these are my training partners and this is like these are my boys, but like you don't have that like, oh, let's go make friends. Like no, you're here for a job, you're here for a mission. You have a manager who is like is going to pay you to do your job, and it's very like you're in a mindset that is I haven't experienced since, and I feel like that was the biggest wake up call for me, especially as a young pro. Like I'm 18, I'm living in LA, like I have my training partners, I have my coach, I'm in gyms with like world champions, some of the best like names around the place, just people as well that fly under the radar, because in America it's such a big pool of boxers that like you'll have killers in the gym, like legit like knockout artists that don't really get like they're not household names, you know, but like they're giving people work. Like my trainer partner has been in 7 Canelo camps, like he's giving people work. People don't know his name, you know, but like I'm in the gym with this man every single day. You got like a lot of Kazakhstan boys, you got Uzbeks, you got Dagestanis, you got Americans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. Like there's so many different nationalities there who are not big names, but like people from that country will recognize them. And you have them in the gym, and then they're giving work to me, they're giving work to other people, and like you either adapt and like prove yourself, or like you're just gonna get like destroyed, you know. Like if you lose any sort of respect in that setting, like it's game over for you.
Yeah, you know? I can imagine.
Like it's not I feel out here, like especially in boxing gyms, it's lacking that sense of like, oh, there's no sense of danger, you know. Like everyone's happy because again there's a lot of like beginners, there's a lot of mixed levels, right? And I feel like Tiger Muay Thai and that kind of like perception that people have, like, oh, the mat's like a bad place to be, you know, if you don't know what you're doing. Like, damn right, like I feel like most gyms should have that, and it's like most gyms are trying to do the, hey, like we're open to everyone, like we're very like welcoming, and that's beautiful, but it's like we're missing that, hey, this isn't a place for everyone, you know. And I feel like just the way that this,
it's a martial art, it's you know, yeah, it's a contact sport,
but the way this place is like you can't really do that, right? Because it's, again, it's like it's very welcome, like it's a very welcoming place, you know. Like everyone is like here to try and train, improve, get better, like learn the art. But like the gym I was in was like, if you're not an elite level amateur or a professional boxer, like you're not inside their gym, like you're not here, you know. You're not here to learn and like have fun. Like it's not fun here, it's not a playground, it's we're here to work, we're here to get work in, and we're here to improve. And like, if you don't want to do that, get out. And it's that sense of like, I never got into a ring in America or anywhere like that, and I'm like, ooh, this is going to be like fun. I'm going to really learn today. Like, I'm like, hey, like if I don't take this serious, I'm going to be badly hurt. And like here, it doesn't really have that. Like you can have it with like a certain person, but like in an atmosphere, and I'm a coach now as well. Like I understand why, because you don't want that kind of atmosphere coming from your gym, because then it's not like, you won't get more customers, you won't get more people to come in, you know.
But it depends, you know, at the end, the old school vibe is, it's a bit different also in Thailand, because like sparring sessions are very different as well.
Yeah, like Muay Thai sparring is very like, if you watch two, like, I suppose traditional Thai people spar, or like people
they're just playing.
They're playing, right? And like they get so many more rounds in. That's why their like technique is flawless. It's why like they can do hundreds of rounds every week and not get sore. Whereas like in America, I was sparring Tuesday and Thursday, and like I can tell you I was sore at the end of the week. You know, like I can't spar like 4 days a week or 5 days a week, because just the way boxing sparring is, it's more like it's more impactful. You know, like it hurts. Whereas like Muay Thai is flowing, and it's a beautiful art when like you learn that way. And just, I suppose that mindset instills itself into most like other sports here.
Yeah. And do you are you still in the amateur scene? You said, you mentioned you coach. Do you coach amateur fighters, or?
I'm coaching here, so I suppose originally it started with like helping people with their hands, like their striking ability. People were coming to me for more advice and things like that, and then it slowly happened to me holding pads. And I suppose the biggest step for me as a coach was when Apollo opened, and I became the head coach of Apollo. I was there from before they opened doors. I worked under Sean Copes in the like in a whole coaching aspect. So had my boxing ability, and then it's my ability to communicate that to others. And Sean Copes helped me massively with that, you know, like putting like programs in place, a strategy in place, just a way to communicate the knowledge you have and the boxing IQ to people, and how to like improve them in the areas that, like, I suppose when you're a fighter, you take it as like for granted, you take it as second nature, right? Like we have this ability to do something, and then when someone can't do it, you're like, why can you not do that? So it's about like, what does it take to do the things that we can do, break it down, and then pass it on to them so they're capable of doing that. And when I started coaching in Apollo, it really like, it changed my whole like ability to coach, to be honest with you. And then started working with amateurs there, and then more pros are coming here, which is an amazing kind of, I suppose, turn to Phuket. Like there's professional boxers coming here to do their camps, which there wasn't really for a long time, you know. Now we're having high level pros here, high level amateurs, and the boxing scene constantly grows in Phuket.
Do you think Thailand will be a place where there'll be some big boxing pro fights, or
I think
it's still going to take some time, you think? Or?
I think like fights could happen. I think the whole coaching or the whole boxing like system here will take a long time, just because like back home you'll have a gym in every area, you know, like Rawai, like multiple ones in Chalong, multiple ones in like Talang, like Bang Tao, but they all work together. Like your fighters, like they're part of this gym, but then you'll go to this gym for sparring, you'll come back, you'll go to this gym for sparring. Whereas here, I feel like people are so afraid of like losing their customers or their fighters that like they don't let them go to other gyms. They're like, you're at our gym's the best. If you go to another gym, you lose your sponsorship. You go to that gym, you lose this. Like you're never like, and there's a pressure to like, you're in this gym, you stay in this gym. And then you miss out on the, like you have a fighter, like a 55 kilo man here. He's got no good sparring partners. Like he's one of the best in the world. You got a 55 kilo man in this gym, also one of the best in the world. Like in Ireland or the UK or like America or anywhere like that, you go to that gym and you spar, and they will come to your gym and spar, and you just keep going like that until the two boys are like constantly growing and getting better. Whereas here it's like, well, if this person goes there, he'll like that gym more, and like you're not allowed to train outside because it's bad publicity for us, and it's a constant like,
it's very different
battle. Yeah,
like I remember I trained myself in Marbella, Spain, in MGM gym, boxing gym. They did do Muay Thai, which is what I did, but every weekend we would have kids from other gyms coming that had big fights and stuff, and they would spar with Spanish nationals from Spanish gyms, and they would come and spar with the national team and stuff, and it was very cool. And that's how you grow together. You know, if you want to be the best, if you don't train with the best or spar with the best, it's going to be hard to get into the ring. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I was an amateur growing up, like I traveled to different gyms and spar because they'd have people for me, you know. Whereas like my gym might be lacking like a different style of opponent. Like we might have an amazing person my weight, but we don't have a world level southpaw.
Yeah.
But this gym does, that gym does. So we'll go there. And it wasn't even like a second thought. Like you need to spar the best. We'll go there. And there was no like, oh, we might lose you as a fighter. And I feel like Phuket's still trying to figure that out. You know, we're still trying to figure out the like, oh, I can let my fighter go to that gym and spar, and that fighter can come to our gym and spar. And again, with like the membership thing, and like you'll have to pay to spar, but then this gym will treat their fighter better. And it's just a different kind of system out here. So trying to get a grasp of that.
You would even have to pay to get into the gym to.
Well, here, like
Thailand.
if I went to, we say Tiger to spar one of their boys, like I'm gonna have to pay to walk in. Like if I go to like if one of their fighters texts me and was like, hey, like let's like train here, unless the coaches know me and they want to be like, oh, like come on in, they're going to be like, oh, why are we letting someone come train with us for free? And it's like a thing of this club will have to let that person train for free, but then this club will have to let that person train for free, and it constantly just goes back and forth where the gym's like, you know what, we don't want to do this. Whereas back home it's very different. So I feel like the fighting aspect, like there's boxing fights going in Bangkok like every week. And like I think Apollo are having a big fight happening in Patong, like they're going to one of the hotels. Like it's progress. Like the fights I don't think are an issue. They're going to get bigger and bigger. We have WBC Asia out here.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Like massive promotion. We have the WBC in Thailand, like boxing. So getting big fights, I don't feel like is much of a restriction. Like we have the zone. We have like there's a fighting organization, a boxing one with yellow shorts in Bangkok. Everyone that's a home fighter wears yellow shorts. I can't remember the name, but it's televised.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's televised boxing fights. Like big fights aren't an issue. I think it's the whole the whole system, the whole foundation of boxing here will have to like adapt and evolve.
And how do you think for yourself when you coach these fighters and stuff, how do you do when you can't go to other gyms for sparring sessions, or do you spar with them yourself, or get friends over, or?
Yeah, for me it's like I'll do pad work. I feel like I'm an amazing pad man. Anyone that has done pads with me will like stand on that. I don't feel like anyone would be like, oh, he can't hold pads. I feel like I'm one of the best here and definitely like talented overall. I can structure them in like, hey, what I would do, because I'm still a very young coach. I'm 24 years old. Like I can speak to the fighters as a fighter. I'm like, what I would do is I would go to this gym and ask to spar this person. Like I would go here and spar them. Like I would go to this training session, and I can kind of like structure their training where I'm like, hey, like this is an educated and just logical way to train. Like instead of saying, oh, I'm going to go here and then here and then here and then here, and you've done 5 sessions on Monday, I'm like, and then Tuesday, what are you taking the day off? I'm like, I don't understand why, you know? And I feel like people come out here, they don't have any like structure, they don't have any program. They want to try different gyms, but that again puts like a spanner in the works, because if you stay in one gym, at least, well, if it's a well-run gym, they have a training schedule in mind. Like they're working on this Monday, this Tuesday, this Wednesday. But when you want to switch gyms, like there's a chance that you only get the same thing every single day in every gym.
Yeah, you might only like sparring and end up only in sparring. Right? You don't want to do some boring footwork or something, which is probably the most important thing to do at the end of the day, especially in boxing.
Yeah, absolutely. So like when we were at Apollo, we had a schedule from Monday morning, Monday evening, Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening. And then like the entire mornings did our entire program, and the entire evenings did our entire program. And then on different days there was there. So you didn't have to come every morning. You could come 2 mornings, 3 evenings, and still get the entire schedule.
Program.
Right? Yeah, so we had it laid out very well. And you can also come every session every day if you wish, and it's still going to work good for you. Like we had it beautiful. And again, like the issue would come is if you did 2 sessions at Apollo, and let's say you did our Monday morning like footwork, and then our Tuesday evening footwork, and then you did sparring in every other gym between that. I'm like, your schedule is like why would you do that? You know? So it's hard to get a grasp, because again, you can't just own like someone here. like they're not just part of your gym, unless they're sponsor fighters and things. The majority of people are like here to train, and then they want to try this gym, then they want to try that gym, and then they want to go to Yona, and then they want to go to Maya Beach Club, and then they want to train again, and then they're like, oh, I want to fight, and it's like, look, like you're gonna have to
decide what you want to do.
yeah, like it's like, do you want to fight? And then the Thais are pressuring them to fight in Batong, and it's like, look, like you're gonna have to choose at some point how you want this like holiday to go, you know. And I suppose it's a really difficult one to kind of get across to people here.
Yeah. And do you fight yourself still?
My last fight was in 2022, I think. So I was under contract. I came here during like COVID, and then I was under a contract. We couldn't return to America just because of the restrictions and things. Tiger Muay Thai asked me to come here. They helped me out massively with like the paperwork and the restrictions to get in here. I had to quarantine. Then I came down to Tiger Muay Thai, and like you remember this place during COVID, there was no one here.
Yeah.
Like it was an amazing experience where you get to meet everyone that lives here. You get to meet the core of Phuket, and I feel like that's why I suppose I'm always drawn back to here, because I got an experience that many people don't really get. Whereas I got to everyone that was living here for 5, 10 years, 15 years, I got to meet them. Whereas if I come in high season as another tourist, you don't get to have the same kind of relationship and interaction.
It's very different.
Them,
yeah.
right? So I got to see a side of Phuket that was extremely beautiful because it wasn't overrun. It was very quiet, and I got to meet people on a different kind of basis. And then when I went back to move to America, the visa situation was changed once again because post-COVID, they kind of changed things up, and it was starting to look like it was almost impossible to get like back into America, or like we'd have to restart all the paperwork and do it all again. And it was just bringing us around in circles and circles. And me being a professional, like I just turned pro, I had 4 fights in the first 6 months as a pro. Like I was active. I'm like, hey, like it's been too long. It's been a year. Like I need to fight, you know? And then it was looking like, hey, you got to move to England, or hey, you got to move back to Ireland. But I'm signed with an American manager. And even for myself, I was like, I don't see the reason to be signed with a manager in America if I'm going to be living and training and fighting in England or Ireland. So like, I don't understand why I would sign with you. Like if I'm signed with you, get me to America so I can continue my professional career
in America.
Yeah. So it became like a back and forth, and I suppose it became a bit of a like conflict and tension, and just I suppose a lot of friction in those conversations. So it got to a point where like I knew I wasn't going to fight like shortly, and I was in a contract until 2025, and that was 2020 until 2025. It was a 5-year contract, and I'm like kind of in a bad place now, right? So I lived in Ireland, I trained, I went to Central Europe, I fought in Hungary, once again in Budapest, and then I came back here. And I was back here, back and forth for a bit, and then I kind of, again, once you come here, you're never fully gone, you know?
Yeah,
like,
you always end up coming back.
So I came back, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to make a run of it, I'm going to stay here, and then again, like the best way for that to happen was there was opportunities everywhere for me to coach. So it was just taking the leap and being like, hey, while I'm kind of on the sidelines, I'll just like spend my time coaching and staying sharp and staying in the gym. And then it became more of a, I suppose, responsibility for me, where I have a lot of clients, I have a lot of fighters, and I'm like, okay, now I'm transitioned as a coach. I'd still like to fight again. I'd still love to fight again. I'm only 24, so like I have time.
You still have loads of time.
And I'm still sharp. And my boxing IQ is constantly growing because I'm working with elite level fighters and boxers from all over the world. I love boxing. It's always been a part of my life. I'm in the gym every day because I'm holding pads or I'm teaching. And like teaching, like I suppose techniques, and I suppose giving advice to people that are even like above my level. Like it makes you grow, and it makes you go, like that's interesting. How can I do that? Or like, what are the different possibilities like that this can lead to? And constantly my boxing IQ is growing, my boxing knowledge is growing, and like I truly believe like my boxing mind is better than when I was an active pro. So yeah, I'd love to get back.
And what advice would you give to Irish young boxers?
Stay in the amateur program for as long as you can. Like I don't have regrets, but I would love to see how far I could go as an amateur if I dedicated like my focus to amateur boxing. My first coach when I was like 9 years old until maybe 16, 17 when I turned pro was my uncle. So his vision was always like turn pro, like we're going to turn pro, like look at these. Everyone I looked up to was a professional fighter. Like you got Marvin Hagler, like you got Canelo, you got Pacquiao, you got Mayweather. Like I was looking up to like professional fighters. Like I never watched amateur boxing. It wasn't pushed onto me when I was a kid. And then I just fell in love with the professional side of the sport. So everything I did, and like my coach, like I suppose guided me down the path of this is a stepping stone and it's leading on to the pro game. So I didn't really care about like wins or losses. Like I've had over 100 fights. I've lost maybe 14, 15. Like I've had a great amateur career, but instead of like, okay, this weight division will be easier to get a national title. Like I could have 5 national titles if I just don't go to this division and go to this division, or stay in my own division. Whereas I would say, this one doesn't really have anyone. This one has someone really good. I want to fight him. And I would jump up and I'd fight him. And sometimes that goes good and sometimes that doesn't. Like it's a great fight, but you might get the decision. So I could have had a completely different amateur career. I could have like Olympics, like things like that. I can't say I could have, but if it was, I suppose, structured differently, I would love to see how far I could achieve as an amateur. And I feel like people should do that. You should focus on the amateur career, turn professional when you're ready, you have the right team behind you, and like you're in the right place if you wish. Again, I'm very grateful and fortunate that like I got the experiences I have, but like not everyone's going to get those opportunities, you know. So like turning pro so young doesn't mean it's going to lead on to like a contract in America. It's not going to lead on to living in LA. It's not going to lead on to Central Europe and then moving here, sponsored by the biggest gym in the world. Like living and coaching in Thailand, like it's not gonna play out that way. Like I'm very fortunate that mine has kind of moved in that kind of manner, because like again, I'm in a great spot, I'm in a great place, and I have a lot of opportunities at my feet, you know.
Well, and you've worked very hard to get where you are, so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
always
of
helps,
course.
you
But
know?
it's like it's different because like when I turned professional at 17, no one had done that before, and I'm also in school, so that's another one to balance. And it's like it's a different, unique story. And when you do that, and then the American route, it's a different story. Like Central Europe, different story. Like why is he fighting in Slovakia? Like why is he fighting in Budapest? Like why is he training in Thailand? When I was coming out to like Phuket as a pro, I had so many people go like, why would you come to Thailand as a professional boxer?
So why did you?
I'm like,
Because that's probably something
yeah,
people
why not?
wonder,
Like
'cause-
yeah, well,
okay, there's some very good boxers as well in
Yes.
Thailand, and some very good Muay Thai fighters that are very good in boxing, but it is very different scene to, well, pretty much anywhere in the world.
Yeah, of course.
Besides Thailand, I think.
it's like I'm looking at, I suppose they're looking at like the boxing in Tiger is for like UFC fighters, like UFC champions. But like when I came like during COVID, it wasn't professional boxers in Tiger Muay Thai. Like there was a few, but it wasn't somewhere that people are like, that's exactly where I'm going for my professional boxing camp. It was high level, like world level, like mixed martial artists with elite level hands, but not boxers.
But not boxers, yeah.
The coaches that were here, like James Heelan, boxing, but also does Muay Thai. Like there's a mix, right? Like whereas I'm going there as strictly boxing, I'm not doing any other sport. Like this is what I do, and people are like, why would you go there? There's like just like traditionally everywhere else on earth. Like why would you come here? And I'm like, that's exactly why I'm coming here, because I see something that like elite level fighters, like great minds, different cultures, like different backgrounds, elite level training, and then just the lifestyle out here. Like this is why I want to try this. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong, but I want to try it. I want to go for it. And it's just, again, different. I took that step. I came here, and then came here during a time that not everyone was here, as I said, and then it just leads on to the next step and the next step and the next step, you know?
And I guess it's also a way of learning, because you get all those cultures and all those nationalities. Because at the end of you go to America, it's the American curriculum, or if you want to call it, or if you go to Ireland, you've got probably your own way of boxing, and well, pretty much any country, they have their own little touch, you know, Mexican and Cubans and
Yes, of course.
pretty much, well, nearly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of countries
And
actually.
working with them and like working alongside them, they always coach you in like their way, right?
Yeah.
Because for them, that's what's correct. Like my big brother growing up is Mike Perez. He's one of the baddest cruiserweights on the planet. Like world level boxer, won a world championship as an amateur, like in Cuba, escaped Cuba, like lived in America. Like he's a bad name. Like you mention his name in any actual boxing gym, they recognize who he is. Like he's still fighting, but like he's been in there with the best in the world. He is a feared man in like the boxing sphere, and I grew up with him. I grew up training with him. Like I grew up learning with him. Like we still talk like weekly. Like every time I'm home, we're going to train together, and like learning from the Cuban background, like learning from the Cuban school of boxing every day is a completely different thing than what my Irish coach is teaching me. And it's like, okay, I'm learning from him. I'm learning from him. And then I go to America. Like I have I have a South African coach, Courage Shabalala, but very American style, like very like more sideways at an angle, like left hands down, right hands by your chin, like not as aggressive. And then when I work with my Mexican coach, or well, not Mexican coach, but Mexican heritage, it's very, okay, left hands by your temple. Now we're going forward, we're being aggressive. And every coach I've worked with, every training partner I've had in my camp that I'm getting advice from is all completely different. And that's just building my boxing IQ. And then it's your job to, all right, where can I put these pieces of the puzzle and how can I make this like perfect? Because like if I put this jigsaw in the wrong way, it's going to make a mess, you know? So I got to do it right, or I'm going to get caught every single time I try and do something, which is cool. And I suppose I'm still getting the hang of that too. Like I have so much boxing IQ that I don't use because I haven't found the right place for it. I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. I don't really know how to do it. Like I can't do that. I can't pull that off, but I'm going to put that on the back burner until I feel like I can, or I figure out how I can. And yeah, even here, like I got a lot of Kazakhstan boys. Like I train with like Johnny Beck in LA, which is like an elite level professional boxer as a Kazakhstan. And then I got all the boys here and they're teaching me stuff. I got the Russians that are teaching me stuff.
Yeah, they've got their own style as well. Yeah.
And I worked with one of the Thai coaches who's like a big brother to me for like 6 months consistently. And learning how Thais box is something that like is completely different than anywhere else in the world. Just their ability to like flow with stuff, their reflexes, like how they move is completely different than, I suppose, typical boxers. And there's a lot of stuff I learned off of that training camp with that coach that like I still use. And it's so like unconventional that you don't think it's going to work until you just dedicate yourself to like trying it, and then it starts working for you. And like everyone here kind of looks at Thais and say, oh, Thai boxing. But a lot of the Thai fighters have a lot of boxing fights. Like my coach, who is Thai, like he's had over 100 boxing fights, the same as me, but he's also had 300 Muay Thai fights.
Yeah,
that's
like, the difference there.
I can't call rank on him. I'm like, how many fights you've had? He's like, the same as you, 100 and something. And I'm like, oh yeah. And he's like, and then 300 or 400 Muay Thai. I'm like, okay, I'm taking your advice, you know, like what you do works because you've had, well, about 500 fights to figure out this isn't textbook, but it definitely works in a fight. Like this isn't beautiful, like it doesn't look like you would coach it, but it definitely works in real life scenario. And it's like getting away from that textbook of this is how you step to the left, this is how you slip a punch. And the Thais are like, yeah, that doesn't really work in like real life settings because they don't read a textbook. They're not getting coached. They're 4 years old, putting on gloves and pads and like just going sparring. Yeah. And they do that until they're 40 years old.
You know, 8-year-old coaches.
Yeah, and they're doing that their entire life. Like every training session is like, oh, let's do some rounds. Like they're figuring out what works along the way. So I feel like even Thailand and the Thais' ability to fight is completely different because they're not sitting down and drilling something for like 4 hours without a partner. They're like, oh, I'm just going to grab someone and see if this works. Like, oh yeah, it does work. Like, or, oh, it doesn't work. I have to do this. And they're doing it in like real life settings, like on the spot, learning as they go. And I feel like that transfers over to boxing if people have an open mind and like are willing to listen and try it, you know?
And what would you consider yourself? What style, or you've just mixed it now so much? So you have maybe your own style, or?
Yeah, I feel like every fighter does, or at least when you're playing at like an elite level, it's my mind and my boxing IQ and my ability to pull it off versus yours. Like if I can set this game up in such a way that you don't understand exactly what's happening, I'm going to win. And if you set it up in such a way that I can't keep up, you're going to win. And there's so much goes into like elite level boxing, rhythm, timing, just IQ, like setting things up 3 steps ahead and seeing if like they'll fall forward or if they figured it out and now they're setting up your setup. And it's a constant chess match. And the more you understand boxing, the more you learn about boxing and the more you can box, the more that becomes a reality of like, oh, we're playing like 10 different games of chess at the same time, but in fractions of seconds, like, which is cool. So to answer your question, like, what's my style? I think it's whatever it has to be in that moment to my full ability. And if, I suppose, the times I get outclassed, which isn't very often, but there are better fighters than me for sure. Like, when I get outclassed, it's okay. I can see the game happening. I have enough boxing IQ to figure out that, like, oh, I'm getting set up here, but my ability to stop it is like, which is hard, right? Like, it's easy. I think it's easier for people who just are not good at boxing to get in and be like, oh, I got beat up. Whereas when you are like, you have an elite boxing IQ, you can see yourself getting set up to fail. And you're like, I can't stop this happening. And you know, you probably same in Muay Thai. I don't have like...
It does happen.
You can be like, I know this is going to happen.
And I'm like, fuck, what do I do? Like,
Yeah.
I can see what he's doing and how he's doing it, but I'm like, I need like that extra thing to make him stop, you know?
Yeah, you're like, I'm 4 rounds in here, and now my stuff is not working. And I can see what is about to happen, but I don't have like the arsenal or the ability to stop it from happening. And I feel like that's just... It's one of the like strangest feelings, because there's instantly a level of respect for like, all right, you got me. But then it's also, you're still in the fight and you got to try and figure it out, because maybe he's made a mistake and like, oh, now you got him, you know, because it's going to be one fraction of a move. He like just goes, oh, I got him, relaxes a little bit, and now the whole tables have turned. Now it's a whole different game again, right? Like, all it takes is one fraction. So like, I suppose what I really love about boxing, I can't speak for other martial arts because I don't, like, I'm not trying to be like just boxing biased here, but like, I don't have experience and I don't have a right to speak on other martial arts here, but I'm assuming it's the same, if not more. Like, I'm assuming BJJ is like this, but times 10, you know, is the ability to like match up with someone and be like, oh, I want to see how much knowledge you have. I want to see if you can play a game. And then you're playing around and you're like, okay, you don't got much. You don't got much things in that toolbox. You got a few moves that work, but I got you on this. And then you get in with someone that's like world level, and you're like, oh, like while I was playing 10 games of chess, you were playing 2 others over here, and I was checkmate and I'm done, you know?
It can happen. And would you transition to some other martial art or something?
No, definitely not.
And what about bare knuckle? You ever thought about doing that?
I got asked a few times, especially out here, because I feel like there's a rise of bare knuckle out here, you know?
Yeah.
And being Irish as well, I feel like everyone's like, oh, bare knuckle fight, you know?
But not your thing?
If there was a good bit of money on the table, but I'm not doing it for 5,000 baht, you know? Like,
yeah, of course not. Because, you know, your hands, and let's not talk about the head and all the rest of the...
I don't plan on getting hit, but I'm definitely breaking a hand. So like I got offered one, it was like 30,000 baht, and I'm like, sweet, but I am going to break my hand off his head, or I'm going to get knocked out. Like, there's no in between here.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen professional, like, or not professional, I've seen bare knuckle fights going the distance, like points. I'm like, I don't plan on that happening. Like,
that shouldn't be.
I'm going to treat this the same way as if I just met this bloke at 7-Eleven and he wants to throw down, you know? Like, I'm coming at him to get chinned, or I'm chinning him. Like, there's no in between here. And I suppose it's a completely different thing, because again, like, how much are you willing to put on the line for 5,000 baht? I'm not willing to put a lot on the line. So like, I'm not going to go in there for a war for no money.
Worth it, of course.
But BKFC or something calls and they're like, hey, here's like 10,000 USD. I'm like, all right, like, let's throw down. Like, I'll throw hands.
You know, that can probably cover some of the medical bills.
You know, like, I'll find some, like, go to Shillong Hospital and we can do this. But yeah, bare knuckle, that's an interesting game. It's a completely different sport. You'd have to train like full camp for that. It's not the same as boxing, you know, like, there's a lot of things very different there. But yeah, that'd be a cool thing. But the injury component of that, I don't understand how people don't break bones, or like, again, like the damage, like facially, like the structure, or, like, if you do withstand like rounds of that, like, it's going to have a lasting impact. And it's about weighing up the things. And I feel like Thailand is just, there's fighters that are hungry, they need to fight. Here's an opportunity. They have like a lot of ego, and they're like, oh, I'm not turning in a fight. And it's like, there's no reason to do this fight. Like, 5,000 baht for 5 rounds of bare knuckle, like, it doesn't make sense. I seen one recently, it was 5 1-minute fights for, I think it was like, was it 10,000 USD or 1,000 USD?
Yeah,
10,000 USD, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's getting somewhere. But now you could have 4 bare knuckle fights, and not get
But
paid.
that was, it was one round, or
Yeah, so 5 1-minute rounds.
oh, it was 5 rounds.
No, so like you fight 4 other people,
Oh,
but 1 round each.
oh, fuck.
Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. So you got 1 round with you, 1 minute, and then I got a round with you, and a round with you, and a round with you. If I win,
Yeah. If
right?
you
So
keep
I can
winning, yeah.
I can fight four times, and then on my 5th round I can lose, and then like, all right, no, thank you.
And then you don't get anything.
Yeah, I think
That's not
I
worth
think the
it.
guy that won it, I'm not sure. I haven't watched it, but I got told like he's a pro boxer or something, and I'm like, yeah, sweet. Like imagine you win 4 fights and then you get lined up against an elite pro. Like if you weren't an elite pro, and now you're like, oh yeah, this is great, isn't it? Like now you're getting knocked out, you know?
And what do you think is the hardest part about business in boxing?
In terms of what? What do you mean by business?
As in coaching, for example. Is it hard to become a coach?
I feel like right place, right time. Like my transition to coaching wasn't like I woke up one day and I was like, I'm going to be a coach. It was like I'm in the gym and I'm training. People are asking me like, how do you do this? How do you do that? And again, when I was here, like initially, I was one of the only real like professional boxers on the island. You know, like especially like training. So people are asking me like, oh, how did you throw that jab? How do you throw that left hook? And I'm teaching them. And then like again and again, it's just growing, and I'm telling more people. And then I went home, I came back, and Sammy Cass gave me an opportunity to coach alongside him. He wanted to do the Muay Thai section, I do the boxing. I'm like, I'll give it a shot, you know. I'm not a coach, like I'm just telling people what.
But you
I
were
know.
very good. I remember training with you,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I'm like, and again, like I was very young there. Like my ability to control a room now has skyrocketed. Like my ability to
Of course, was that 5 years? 4 years?
Yeah, it will be around
That's
that.
been
3
a
or
few
4
years, yeah.
My ability to like coach has just like skyrocketed. But taking that step and being like, you know what, yeah, like Sammy, I respect you. I'll do as you say. Like, yeah, I'd love the opportunity to do that. And then trying to coach, just being like, like I don't know how to do this, but all right, guys, grab a rope. Like I'm gonna run you through what I do. And then it's like transition, like, oh, actually, like people struggle with this. Okay, I'm gonna do that more of this stuff. Like, oh, people don't understand that. I'm gonna do this. And then I did that for a while. Then went home and then came back. I didn't plan on coming back to Apollo. And then they called me and I initially turned it down. I was like, it's not a good idea. Like we're opening up a boxing gym next to Tiger Muay Thai. I turned the phone and I'm like, that's probably one of the worst like ideas I've ever heard in my life. You know? Like at that time, Tiger was Tiger. It's like opening up a gym next door to Tiger, I could think of nothing like worse. Like that's not gonna work. So when they were like, "Hey, we want you to be the coach of boxing at that," I'm like, "Yeah, amazing." I'm like, "That's the worst idea." Like, and then Sean Cobes called me and was like, "Hey, like, I want to run something by you because I'm gonna go become the strength and conditioning coach and like, how do you say it? Like, not like I think of like a mentorship over the gym. He was more running the structure and like basically the different departments, like allocating, you take care of this, you take care of this. He was kind of overseeing everything as well as the boss. And he called me and I'm like, what do you mean you're in on this, you know? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be part of this, but in my like plan that I'm putting down in my proposal, you're part of it. And I'm like, fuck, that's an honor, you know? Like I've trained under Sean Cobes, like you're one of the most like, you're in my eyes, one of the best S&C coaches I've worked with, and like probably renowned like around like the world by fighters. But also you're probably one of the coaches I respected the most during my entire career to date. Just your ability to say, hey, this is how you do it. This is what I want you to do. This is how you do it. Now go do it. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. I don't need a pat on the back. I just need to know what the hell I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and then I'm going to go get it done. I'll come back to you when it's done. And I'll come back to him and he said, this is what we're doing next. It was his ability to work with me and like, I suppose everyone else that I was like, I respect you. And when he put me down as the proposal, I'm like, fuck, that's an honor. Yes, I'm in. Landed here, got involved with Apollo, and then just was learning from day one. Learning from Sean, learning from the Russian coaches, learning from just the system I'm in, and constantly building it, and then learning on my feet too. Like I was in the gym and I'm coaching this class and I'll have 10 people, and I'm like, okay, perfect. This is how I'm going to set my class. And then 40 Russians would come in. And I'm like, oh. Now the whole structure has changed in 10 seconds. And I'm like, all right, now I gotta like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And then that's perfect. All right, you're gonna do this. And then it's like, oh, now there's a language barrier. And like I taught one class in Apollo, I remember it, and it was just da 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 da. That's all I was saying to them, like nah da 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 da, like da da da. Like there was no language. Like you don't speak English, I don't speak Russian,
it's with
I
boxing
don't speak
language.
Dutch. Like so, I'm like, oh, like how am I going to teach this class? Like I have like Dutch, Russians, like Germans, and I'm like, oh, like I have so many different people here that don't speak fluent English. I'm Irish. Like I barely speak English as it is. Like I'm like, you don't understand a word I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, rhythm. Like, and I'm like, okay, today was supposed to be like footwork, but now I got to just run on rhythm. And then my ability, and I think this is why it's very good for me too, because I'm young, I can do the things. So like footwork, I don't need to speak. Follow me, and I'll just do the drills. Go around, see everyone do it, do the drills.
Well,
Like,
at the end of the day, it's, lead by example.
Yeah,
That's probably one of the best ways to teach anything.
yeah, and because I can do that, it's like it's easier for me in those kind of areas to not be like, oh, like I can't do anything here, because I can literally just not say a word and just start doing shit, and then people will follow me because now I've had respect as a coach. So people are like, oh, just do what the coach is doing, and it's like the more you start getting involved in it, the easier it kind of gets, because there's a snowball effect. When you earn a bit more respect as a coach, and the majority of the class respect you, the rest of the class will respect you. And I suppose in Southside, like I didn't really have that, because now I'm a kid. I haven't coached before. I'm trying to tell people what to do, and if they don't want to do it, they just won't do it. Whereas, like throughout my journey in Apollo, it was like, okay, this lad is like he's coached the gym before. Like he's coaching the class here. He's the head boxing coach. He's got 14 PTs every day. Like he knows what he's doing. Follow him, and it's constantly like building and building. And even now, it's building and building. Like I have a lot of people that are going to land before the end of the year, that like are bigger names than like I've had, and it's like constantly growing to the point of like I don't know where it's going to end. I'm just excited to see who comes next, who's going to text me for boxing coaching, like who's going to work with me. I have a fighter landing who spent I think 3 or 4 years in Floyd Mayweather's gym. I've sparred him before, and now we're gonna like line up 4 or 5 fights for him in Bangkok, and then he's obviously going to take his pro career like overseas. So it's going to be cool working with him, who's like an up and coming pro, very similar position as me. Like he's maybe 4-0, whereas I'm 6-0. It's like, okay, now I'm speaking to someone almost like where I would be and what I would do, and it's cool to get like this kind of level of respect as a 24-year-old coach, to be like, oh, like you're coming to me asking me for advice on your career. Like this is interesting. This is what I would probably do. And I feel like that's getting easier over time, where I'm earning that level of respect.
And of course, it's at the end, it's time, age, and you'll grow more and more for sure. And, you'll probably end up coaching some very big names in a near future. And what was the most memorable fight you've had, or the most interesting fight, or the one that made you grow as a pro fighter?
I'm not sure. I think my most recent one in Tijuana was a good one, because I had the full training camp in LA. I had a lot of pressure because now I want to make my coach proud. Like I've just worked with this man. He's dedicated so many hours to like us as a team, and it's like so much pressure. And we're like, when I'm in that changing room, it's like there was some good boys on the cards too, like that blew up and became big names. And I'm like, oh, like I remember those people sitting next to me as we're waiting to walk out and fight in Mexico. My pro debut was obviously a big fight. Second one was an interesting one because there was a lot of switch ups, but I feel like every fight has their own kind of takeaways, So yeah, they're all different.
And what you mentioned before, your uncle was your first coach.
Yeah.
So you come from a family all boxers, or?
My uncle used to box, and I suppose similar to me actually, he fell into more of a coaching aspect. And then when I like wanted to box, I was like 8-9 years old. I'm like, oh, I really want to box. He's like, come down to the gym. And I suppose I only wanted to box because he was a boxer, and like my grandfather like was a boxer, and it's like, oh, I want to, I suppose being around that environment, your environment shapes you. So now you want to do what they're doing.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
And then I constantly just like went with it.
And what is it like to, in Thailand, the weather's very different and stuff like that. How do you keep up with the heat and stuff, especially being Irish.
Yeah.
It's not the hottest country in the world.
Yeah, don't burn. Yeah, it's completely different. I feel like you gotta take that into account with training. Like in Ireland, I fell into like an ultra running space at one point where I was running like 100 kilometers runs. I was doing about 20 kilometers a day, 20 to 30 kilometers every day. And that was, I think, pre-COVID times before I came here. Because I spent most of like lockdown in Ireland, the early part of 2020, and then I came here. I was doing ultra running, so like long runs. And then I came here and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do the same thing. And I got to about, I'm gonna say about 15 kilometers, and I'm like, all right, now I'm tapped out. Like Ireland is a lot easier to train. It's a lot cooler. Like you're not sweating, you're not cramping, and like taking that into account here, like was a challenge for like maybe the first few months. But I got a hang of it now. I'm pretty good.
Would you ever move back to Ireland, or do you think you're going to stay here?
Maybe
for the
not
next
Ireland.
few
Maybe not
years?
Ireland. I love Thailand, and I suppose just from experience, whenever I move away, I want to come back. So I'll think that my time is up here, and I'll have like a moment of stagnation. I'm like, okay, time to try something new, and then I'll move away, and like within a week, I'm like I have to go back, and I'll come back, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And I suppose you'll know more than me as well. There's like chapters and seasons in Thailand where you're like, oh, like I'm getting bored or frustrated of the place, and then it'll be the next chapter. You're like, I love this place so much, and it's just going with the flow out here because it's ever changing too. Like so many people land here, and something I keep in my mind is one flight that lands in Phuket can change the atmosphere completely. Like if one plane from, I don't know, Russia comes, it's a whole different kind of atmosphere. One plane from Australia comes, whole different atmosphere. And it's like, if that's all it takes to change, especially where I work, which is on Soi Tayad, like the street, like 100 people from a certain place there, or just 100 people in general, can change how that like street feels. It can change the whole mood and like atmosphere. And is it energetic? Is it dull? Like, do these 100 people like just stay indoors all the time, or are these 100 people outside the whole time? And knowing that this place changes just gradually throughout the year is like helps me stay here whenever I have moments that I'm like will I call and go home?
Because it never gets boring. There's always something new.
Always changes. Yeah.
And what about Thai culture? I see.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you like sakyang tattoos.
Yeah, I have a few. Yeah. The Thai culture. Yeah, I really, I suppose, got involved in it when the Thais started bringing me. Like, I have a lot of Thai mates that are very close to me. I have a lot of Thai people that see me as family, and I view them as such as well. And they're like, oh, like you're dealing with this, or oh, James, I want you blessed. I want you protected. I want you to like get good karma. I want. Like they want to look after you, so they bring you down. They bring you to the temple for the day. They bring you to the ajans. They used to pray with me every morning at Apollo. Like we used to do the incense and pray at the temple house. Used to just like I got immersed in it, and I just kept going and like I suppose you build your relationship with the ajan, which is a monk. You build yourself with you build your relationship with just the culture in general, and then you fall deeper and deeper into it.
And
You also got second.
yeah, I do. A few as well. Just a couple.
Yeah, hold back these.
And in what do you see yourself doing in the future? So mostly coaching, or any big fight you planning on doing, or dream fight?
I'd like to fight again. Like I'm young, and I suppose it's an interesting one for me to be like, hey, like I want to fight, because trying to juggle that with coaching is something I have tried to do, and then it doesn't like it's very difficult. And I was training for a fight in January. I got the call in like August, September time last year, and it was a big deal on where there was supposed to be 10 fights this year. So you get ready, you're going to fight maybe 5 times, and you're going to be at all 10 fights. So you're going to be there, like you're going to be part of it. It's going to be a big thing. You get Thai celebrities involved, like TV stations, mad, right? And I trained for that. I put all my coaching to the side, like put, I suppose, funding into training, was like training twice a day, and that takes a lot, where it's like, oh no, I can't coach you, I'm going to train. And then those people will obviously find another coach, or like if they don't want to wait, they want to train in the morning and the evening. They got their unit class booked, they want to train with you at this time, or they can't train. And I'm like, no, I'm training myself. And I did that all leading up to January, and then Like I'm calling them and I'm like, hey, like when's the fight? And then the whole promotion got pulled. And I'm like, oh, like forget this, like forget trying to balance both now, because after cutting like coaching off for quite like a few months now of like time where you can be making a lot of money coaching, now it's all just been like pulled.
And you pretty much have to start like from zero, no, to
gotta,
get
yeah,
customers,
and
clients again.
exactly. So then I'm like, you know what? I'll train, I'll stay active, I'll stay fit. But if I want to dedicate it to it, like dedicate time to fighting again, I gotta just put the coaching away and be like, hey, like I'm not balancing, I'm not taking people on, which is difficult because like I get people booking in for December now. Like, hey, I'm gonna be the December this date to this date. Like I want to train this date to this date. You there? And I'm like, yeah, I'm there, And it's like, okay, like even if I wanted to train in December, I've already given my word that I'm gonna coach you.
Yeah.
So, and that constantly happens all year. Like from now until the end of the year, until like January or February, like I have people that are coming this week, and they're gonna book in with me and train. And then you have that loyalty with them because the last 5 trips they've come, I've been here and they've trained with me, So it's a constant, like I know my clients personally. Like wherever I go, they go. Like when I went to Apollo, they went there. When I went to Ali's, they're here. Like if I went to Hawaii tomorrow, they'd all follow me down. So I have a great relationship with my clients, and I don't want to break that. It's a very big thing for me to be like, no, I'm not coaching you, So I'm trying to see.
And what about your hobbies? What do you do besides coaching, boxing, fighting?
Depends. Listen to podcasts. I got 2 dogs as well, so they're a handful. Got 2 dogs. Like Thai culture, and again Phuket. Go to the beach. Like you stop doing things when you're here for a while. Like you stop going to the beach and things, but
it's a shame. I think we should force ourselves to.
Yeah, I've started doing that recently where I'm like, all right, I'm going to force myself to do the things that I'm like, oh, this is a touristy thing to do. Like, I'm going to go to the island.
It feels weird sometimes when the other day, my mum just came back. Well, she just came to Thailand the first time and I went to the beach and it was just so awkward and going to hotels to pick her up. And I'm like, I feel like such a tourist.
Yeah, you feel touristy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel touristy, but I feel like you need that to happen. Like you need, like your mother was here, you need to do, like they're like, hey, like I want to go see the monkeys.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, I want to go like to Big Buddha, or I want to go to the beach, and you're like, okay, like
done it 1 million times,
yeah,
but I'll do it one more.
But now you do it again, you're like, oh, this is actually quite beautiful. Like oh, I want to go to this beach. Okay. You haven't been there for a year and a half, but now you're like, you know what, this is quite beautiful. I should come again. And then you won't go again until someone comes and they haven't seen it before. But I feel like you need that, like my missus hasn't really like seen a lot of Phuket. So now it's like, okay, we got to go to PP. We got to go to like Bang Tower. Like she's never been to this restaurant or she's never seen this. And I'm like, all right, I've been to like all the islands. I've done all these things, but now, okay, like I got to experience them again. And it gets you out and it gets you to really like appreciate Phuket again, One thing I used to do every morning was I used to go to Big Buddha with my brother Chris. I used to go to Big Buddha every morning for sunrise. So no matter what the 2 of us were doing the day before, at 5 a.m., we better be going to Big Buddha. Like there was no ifs, buts, and ands. Like if I don't see you at Big Buddha, it's going to be a problem,
Sparring session
like
afterwards.
if you don't have a message at like 5 a.m., like we're knocking at each other's door. Like he's like, I'm outside. Like he's Aussie. Like I'm outside. Can't, like you better fucking get out here. Like he'll come bang down my door and like now I have to get up and go to Big Buddha. But when you're at 5 a.m. or 5:30 and you see the sunrise, it like, especially when like we could enter Big Buddha at that time, now it's closed. It's like you cannot be not grateful for being here. And it's one of the only places on earth that I've ever been where I have this feeling where no matter how I feel when I wake up, if I go and I look at the sunrise or like I'll walk out and I'll see like, I don't know, like just Phuket in general, I'm like, fuck, like I'm grateful to be here, like it's an amazing day. And that was like a real, I suppose, like part of my routine that really like kept me here, where it's like I'm seeing the sunrise every morning. I'm in this headspace that's beautiful. Like I'm in this headspace of gratitude. And then when I come down, like it doesn't matter what happens. Like I love Phuket. I love this place. Like it's perfect, So it's like having things like that where like, that's what I kind of love to do. I love doing things that make me like remind me of why I'm here and why I'm grateful to be here. To answer your question.
But it sounds amazing thing to do every morning. It keeps you awake and wakes you up, and good start to the day.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give people in general? Should they follow their dreams?
I was gonna say the wrong one, but yeah, for sure. I feel like my whole story and everything I've ever done has been like living my story, you know. I've done things and went to places that everyone would advise me to do, and I'm like, no, like I feel like this is what I should do, and then I just go with my heart, I go with my instinct, and I'm living uniquely me, you know. I'm not living for this is the best idea to do this, like this is the way you should do it, and like this is the way it looks perfect. Like no, like my story is raw, it's the truth, it's exactly who I am, and like every step I take is like one that I want to try something different, or I feel like, oh yeah, this is me, this is what's calling me, this is my calling, you know. So live in your truth.
And is there anyone along the way that you would like to say thank you to?
Is this where I look down the camera? If I start name dropping, I'll be here for a week. The podcast will be 4 hours, you know. But everyone, you know, everyone like plays their own, like, I suppose, part of my journey, and I've never forgotten anything anyone has done for me. And like throughout my journey, I've been to so many different places and I've been around so many different people that, again, like it would be impossible for me to start name dropping. But like I'm grateful for everyone, and I appreciate everyone's part of my journey, and everyone that's currently with me. Like I have nothing but love and like respect for everyone, and yeah, that's it really.
And is there anyone you think we should bring to Rice Podcast?
Ooh. There's a lot of good
You
people
can mention
here.
a couple. We'll tag them when we post the video.
You have to get Sammy Cass on. Like you have to get Sammy Cass. I feel like Clayton out of Phuket Fight Club would be an amazing one. I've had like the opportunity to be with Clayton and like speak to him, and I feel like getting his perspective on things would be amazing. Fighters, there's a lot of good fighters. I feel like, again, the list.
At the end, you know, Rice Podcast, it's to build the community.
Yeah.
You know, at the end, it's a conversation we have. Know people's stories. Every story is unique. And
like,
Sammy's definitely one that someone I've already texted as well.
Yeah.
And hoping he comes on. We'll have to tag him.
Yeah,
and
I feel like getting some of the Thais on would be mad, but again, with the language barrier, it might be a bit difficult.
we can always get a translator, help a bit.
I feel like getting a few of the Thais on would be amazing to hear their story, like where they're from, like what they've done. Because again, as I said, there's like hidden gems in every gym, where it's like, oh, this guy has fought like super leg twice. Like he used to train with Rod Tang. Like Rod Tang grew up looking at him, like things like that, and you're like I would never have guessed, you know, like you've had 400 fights, you've had 200 fights, like what's that like, and it's amazing because when I look on Instagram, like sometimes some of these Thais go viral, and I'm like, I train with that guy, like I know his story, but now his story has got out there, it's gone viral. We had a Thai work with us from Isan at Apollo. He's like 5 foot tall, and like I've never had more like a sense of aura from a man ever. I'm like, this man just feels like he's a killer, and like he blew up from his fight. It was on what was that from Giga Fights, or remember on Instagram there was that like
the Gigafight,
that right
videos,
and it blew up. Like he was just genuinely like world class. He was just incredible. He's a superstar. But I was with him for a load of his fights when he was here. Like the guy would just be smoking cigarettes and drinking like energy drinks, and he doesn't speak a word of English. So he's just sitting there in silence, smoking and drinking, and then he just gets in the ring and he's like you're like, what's happening here? And then he gets back out and he'll just do the exact same thing, and he'll be just smoking, go to sleep, wake up, like do all his clients. And I'm like, no one would ever be able to get that information out of him until you have a Thai that speaks and they can translate, because also there's different dialects in Thai too. So like we couldn't speak at all. Whereas like I can speak to one of the Thais who can speak to him and he can tell me what he's saying. And I'm like, this guy's mad. Like he's had a mad journey. And when it got out there, he blew up. And I think he went to Dubai for a while, I think, like, and coached out there. Like someone brought him out to like coach him personally. Then he came back, went to Isan, like came back here. I actually met him, and like I'm like, this guy is just again, he's just doing the exact same thing, but like his story can't get out there. So I feel like getting someone that ties
We
on.
will
mad.
we will bring, you know, for sure some Thai guys. I've already got a couple in mind, and
Yeah, for sure.
it sounds like an interesting story, so we might bring him in for sure.
Yeah.
And get someone to translate, because at the end, you know, it's to community, help each other, help
Yeah.
everyone's businesses and careers grow, and I think we can make something big happen.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's an amazing idea you have, and I think like you yourself have like positioned yourself in Geelong as like, well, you own Rise, like you're constantly trying to build something. Like you're in so many different locations now, and you're part of the community. You got a gym opened as well, correct?
Very soon, yeah.
Right, you got a
Yeah.
gym opening. Like you've been around, like you can fight. Like I'm not sure if like people listening understand, but like you got a mad career yourself. You've been around like gyms. I'm sure you've been to many gyms here. You know a lot of the coaches, and like I suppose how things work here. It's like you have the opportunity to start connecting things and start like building this community. Like, and it takes a certain type of person to do that, because not anyone could just come here, open up a podcast studio, and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna connect everyone from around everywhere," because people don't understand. Like, people don't really know you. You know,
Yeah.
like when you text me, I'm like, "Absolutely!" Like I know you for years. Like, of course I'm coming on, and like almost everyone will have that same kind of attitude. Like, of course I'll come. Like, yeah, why wouldn't I? You know, it's like talk with you, and then it's slowly like building and building and building, and I feel like that's something that's very special, and like only someone like you could do that. So it's cool.
Thank you very much. And thank you again for coming. And if I made any mistakes or something,
We'll edit it out. And
but and we hope to see you soon. And anyway, soon we will have maybe a bit more than just a podcast one-to-one. Maybe we'll have some groups and stuff and chat a bit about everything.
Perfect.
But
Thank you. Thank you for having
we'll
me on.
definitely want to see you again. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching Ride Podcast, and we hope to see you next week on Wednesday.